I know, Blake, I know this is your show, but could I do like an ad read, by the way?
Oh, go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by, hold on, sorry. Are you wanting to get involved in beef, but you're just too humble? Introducing the J. Cole meal at Burger King. Just an unseasoned plain hamburger and a water cup. So that's pretty cool.
Hardly bearable.
Yeah. We all Burger King. The J. Cole meal. We all Burger Kings. Burger Kings of ourselves, first and foremost, while the people debate who's the Burger King of this chicken rap game. Ha 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 ha. Here comes little old Jermaine with every ounce of strength in his veins to snatch the burger crowd for whoever thinks has it. But rather than place it on his head as soon as he grabs it, poof, boom, pow. It's like magic. With a flash and a bang, the crown disintegrates and falls to the earth from which it came. It's done. BK, have it your way. You rule. Okay, there you go. So that was an ad read.
Oh God. Oh, I hope J. Cole never hears this.
I hope he does. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I completely the whole props thing exited my brain an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, an ad read. I didn't know we were. I thought you said you didn't know if you're all right. Go for it.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
Well done.
Incredible.
Thank you very much.
Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh. Why don't you come over and talk about it?
Anyways, this burger's like very dehydrated. Anyways,
It looks like it.
Yes. It's also been sitting outside for a little bit. But hi, everybody. Let's talk about J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Just like I guess we could talk macroly like about it. Like, what do you think about it?
Too long of songs. Holy shit. I am so over 4 to 4.5 minute songs on like literally 11 out of the 13 tracks.
Yeah.
Like Love Yous is 330, Hello is 339, and the intro is 2. So sorry, 10 out of 13. But like everything else is like close to 4, if not over 4.
I think that's kind of like product of the time too. I think once we moved into a more like streaming based and playlisting based kind of album composition, they started to gamify a little bit, and songs just had to be under 3 minutes. It seemed like you can't go over 3:30, but I think this sits in a place before that became a sort of unwritten mandate. So I don't know. It's got a little bit of the golden era philosophy with its song time limits, I guess. And that didn't really strike me on this listen at all. Just because I don't know, maybe like J. Cole's tone in general feels like you're listening forever. I don't necessarily think that the song itself does that, but but I think if we're keeping it macro, keeping it global, I think it's a well packaged, like incredibly produced, kind of top to bottom. It's got that major label sheen. Is this still Rock Nation? No, I guess he's
This one
Dream Columbia. I think Columbia.
Yeah. This one was Interscope, I believe.
So very much
or Interscope.
Major label polish on it. And that of this time, the reason I think J. Cole got in this conversation is because every time an album would come out, it'd be like, oh, J. Cole went platinum, no features, platinum, no features, platinum, no features. Like, okay. So to some degree, it's like that alone as a marketing tool kind of gets you to tap in. And yeah, that's kind of like my initial impulse on those, and yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, for a no features album, like it does stretch. Like I did laugh very hard at your joke about like, it sounds like he's rapping forever, but like he manages to hold my attention like the entire time. There's enough dynamism with him. Like there is, he isn't like Big Sean where he has like that one flow, the entire time. Like I want to hear what he has to say. There's dynamism. I like his singing. I think I like his singing. I like his like vulnerability. I like the jewels he drops. My like general. So I'm building off of our friend and colleague Dakota West Foss's theory that J. Cole is Jordan Peterson, like J. Cole, which is like a real roast of his whole deal. Like where
that's tough. That's a tough comparison.
Yeah, it's like, but he positions him. His idea was like he positions himself as an intellectual, and like to be taken seriously. And then like as the years go by, it's revealed that he's like a bumbling idiot. He's just like and then he's like nowadays in 2015 flirting with manosphere kind of incel areas of just like making a trans joke, saying like, I'm like Dave Chappelle, cancel me. Ugh. Like just like that whole deal. And then, like using the R word here and then using it in his new album, Please Delete Later or whatever it's called. But like the update here, updating from his point.
Still on Spotify.
Yes.
I lied.
There's a meme of just like, some like a really ugly selfie of some child, and it's like might delete later, and then the comments like, well, hurry up. It's just like so funny. So here I have another prop here, and it might be backwards. It might not like actually make
no, it's forward. You're good.
Okay. So it's the J. Cole's 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. So I wrote 12.
Let's go.
All right. Rule number one.
God.
Rule number one. Love yours because there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. Rule two. Don't let them taint your soul. If you aim too high, then you aim too low. Rule number three. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Now, that's actually a Jordan Peterson rule, but it applies to this album and it applies to Drake's album. Number four. Be wary of any man that claims that because deep down he clings to the need for power. In reality, he's a coward. Number five, deep down, every poet just wants to be loved. Number six, life is a game with no reset at the end. Number seven, there are no role models. Number eight, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Number nine, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me. Can't get fooled again. And then rule number 10, don't medicate, meditate. Made me so angry when I watched that. When I heard that album.
Oh my God.
Number 11, find someone who you want to fold clothes with. Number 12, clean your room because of lobsters or something. So that was like, but like it's vague enough where it's like deep and profound, and it's just like, you can't argue with it because it's technically true, but it's like, but like the good thing about this, it does speak to young men who just like need to express themselves, who feel trapped in their depression or in their environment and stuff like that. I think J. Cole is a better human being. I think there's not a lot redeemable about Jordan Peterson, but like this whole like, those are my thoughts. That's what I prepared. Prop number 2.
He very much so, with looking at that and then thinking about how he tries to portray himself, like with like riding the bike. He's like, I'm an everyday guy. Like, don't worry about the millions that I got in my bank account. I'm riding this old bike, and hey, I've had these socks for a year. It's hard for me to glom onto. It's hard for me to believe. I don't buy it. I don't like There's another reason why I don't buy J. Cole. And I know there are a lot of J. Cole fans out there, and shout out to y'all. But there's an element of when Jay-Z kind of said that he was kind of like stepping away from just being like an rapper and kind of becoming the businessman. I feel like J. Cole was the stamp of approval, or like this is the next guy. Like, and to me, what he does as a rapper doesn't have that same heft, or I don't know. He doesn't show up. His persona does not match, and he's never gotten to that level of being able to become a Jay-Z or just have that much influence. I don't feel like Cole has much influence. I feel like Kendrick and Drake have more influence, whether it be from like what they are doing as a recording artist or the messaging that they carry, for better or for worse. Whereas when I listen to J. Cole, I feel like it's very much so those 12 rules, and they're a little bit thin, and you could apply those to anything and extract them from anywhere. So I don't know. It's once you strip the polish away, right? Once you strip the backing and the multi-$1,000 studio hours and like the ability to have string instruments on retainer to kind of create these lush production moments, what is J. Cole really talking about? I really don't know. Can y'all help? Can you help? Help me.
Yeah, he is. This is where, oh my God, I hate when I do this because I don't like J. Cole. But when it comes to this, there's a sport of rap, and then there's the life that rappers live and how we interact with it. In the sport of rap, it's exactly what you're saying, John. Like, it's just like come on, man. Like, you're not a real athlete. And respect J. Cole, if you're hearing this, like please, like, I respect you so much. And to the J. Cole fans, John shot on your guy. It was John. It wasn't me. Okay. Now, when it comes to the sport, though, like that's what we're talking about. Like Jordan, if Jordan just did the jumper thing all day long for his whole career and won 6 chips, we'd be like, okay, well, whatever. But no, Jordan jumped from the free throw line, right? Jordan gave you that like right hand, switch to the left for no reason other than I can't do it. He dunked on Ewing. He gave you all of these moments of glam that you're like, holy shit. And that made him even greater. Whereas J. Cole, I think his problem is that he, from the sport perspective, never gave us the free throw line that was promised. Like we never got that like electrifying moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this guy. And yet he was always like, big three, big three, big three. Yeah.
I feel like what I can say is as close to that moment that J. Cole got was his feature run when
that's so
maybe, Kendrick was in the cut. Drake was doing whatever he was doing, but this feels like it was around like post Scorpion, which it's like definitely a decline. And there was just this space for J. Cole to occupy, and he kind of just dominated on everyone's track. And to me, that's when I think J. Cole is at his best. He supports and elevates a track, but when I tap into like his own like solo work, it becomes a little tough for me as a listener. And I dog on J. Cole. I feel like I don't hate him. I don't like. It's just not.
I don't think about
weighty.
you at all.
It's just weighty. Yeah, it's kind of like okay. And I've listened to every.
So worse.
I've listened to every J. Cole project, and it just becomes like okay, I listened to that. What is the next thing? Kind of like what you all on like one of the I've been meaning to listen to that episodes where we were talking about Ab Soul and kind of like the place that he sits. It's like, I'm aware of this guy and like he is the best, but like I haven't really deep dove on him. I feel like J. Cole occupies a similar space for me where it's like I give it attention, but then I'm on to the next.
Yeah. Yeah, and he keeps like promising the next, like, oh yeah, the fall off. It's gonna culminate into a thing, just like, I could drop 2 classics right in the Dakota West Foss review. He's like, I could drop 2 classics right now, and it's like, sure, buddy, try one. My girlfriend lives in Canada too. Just like so funny.
But he is the realest rapper of all of them. He's more real than J. Cole, than Jay-Z. Oh, sorry, than Kendrick, than Jay-Z, than Drake, because he's like us, man. Like he's just living a boring life, rocking a bicycle with the same pair of socks. Like he actually has maintained a level of realism
Sure.
throughout this
Oh
run
yeah,
of celebrity.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know, so I think so. That's where it's like, in some ways, we should aspire. He should be number one. We should all be saying like, "Hey, Drake, be more like J. Cole. Like, be a regular person, or at least try to." You know, because that might solve some of the problems we have with Drake. But then it then transforms Drake into a more boring artist that we then have a problem with J. Cole. So it's like, what do we want? What do we actually? That question we asked about, what do we want from Drake? What do we actually want from our artists?
Oh, I thought you were going to say J. Cole, because I was going to say I have zero expectations / needs from this man.
Again, that's John Butts is here. Go check out his music. Very good shit. But also all the hate mail, John Butts.
Yeah. P.O. Box 69, you know, like in St. Louis. But like, I think like the thing I like about him a lot, I think this is a truly admirable thing about him is, and I feel mixed, but I do admire it, of this idea of he's above the competition of rap, where sometimes I understand that rap competition is a huge part of hip hop. I understand that's very important, and it's like a part of the art form and the braggadocio and all that stuff. But like, it's also tied in with like, we don't say that about like capitalism. We don't say like competition. You gotta admit, it's the best part of that. You know, it's a good thing that Beats and Bose and like, you know, Sony are fighting each other. You gotta admit, you know, it's like this. It's just like, isn't it good that we live in America and like we don't have a king, and that we like are ostensibly we can choose if we like Drake better and choose if we like Kendrick better, and like, it doesn't have to be where one puts down the other, like destroys the other and like salts the earth, you know, isn't that good? But at the same time, he is, and I relate to that a lot, of like, I know YouTubers who are like very much, they treat like YouTube and podcasts as a sport, as like hip hop, of just like, you know, no collaborations. I'm going to beat you and make all the money and stuff like that. And I'm like, good on you. That's not me though. Like, I want to like connect with people. I want to like have a nice time. I love this so much. This makes me so happy to do. I could do this the rest of my life. You know, this is reviewing music, talking about music, talking to my friends, all that stuff. But in a roundabout way, I'm also trying to be the best. You know, like maybe the fact that I see through the system, that makes me the best. You know, that makes J. Cole noticing that like white people have stolen the sound while we're fighting each other, while they're fighting each other, like, is what makes him. But he's also like trying. He's also doing the thing where he's like punching Kendrick and then like saying, "I'm sorry," you know, just like, you know, like, at the same time, you know.
Very much so, especially to that one, the white folks have stolen the sound, because to me that would have been a little bit more weighty of a line if he wasn't like, "Oh, I'm just playing," but he did that, which I think that is such a good thing to bring up, Andrew. And I wonder how much I wonder how much, but it's like this ability to misstep as well, because it's not like J. Cole didn't release False Prophets, which to some degree is like a sub at Kanye, and then, you know, he participated in the first person shooter. So it's like putting a toe in and then just like, kind of like not cowering, but not really meeting the moment, or deciding that maybe the idea of participating is more fun than the actual participation when it comes to like the who's got the crown or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's fine. And if folks have Cole at number one, that's fine. Songs like '03 Adolescence or Apparently, to me, are just like very impeccable like raps. You know, I'm not saying that J. Cole's not skilled. I'm just coming in here with like the hottest antithetical take, but I see what's going on here. And Firing Squad is hard. Like The Tale of Two Cities is hard. Like all of these songs are quote unquote good.
Yeah.
It's just like, who do you as an individual like to listen to more?
Yeah, but again, like you're like what Andrew said about the YouTubers, like if you're saying, hey, I'm not producing YouTube because I want to be the best, but it'd be cool if I am the best, you can't half-ass in sports, right? Like when you're playing a sport, no matter what it is, if you are unsure of your positioning and your approach, you will fail. And so J. Cole, as early as this album, I mean, early in this, but on this album especially, he talks a lot about the crown. Like he acknowledges that, hey, I want this crown. And in the next line, he'll say, but we need to destroy the crown. We're all kings. So he's almost like taking you into the sport and out of the sport too many times. And then you see it 10 years later where he puts himself into this, beef about the top three nonsense. And then says, oh guys, it's nonsense. Feelings are going to get hurt. These are my friends. But it's a sport, man. So when you play a sport, you will hurt your friend if they're on the other side. And then hopefully if your friendship is true, it can last past the sport. But the second you start to bring real life into the sporting arena, then it's no longer fun. And I think that's where, the J. Cole problem that I have, or the problem I have with J. Cole, is that he is trying to be the athlete of the year, but is also taking too many games off. So which one is it, bruh? Like which one is it? Because you have the skill set if you wanted to commit to it to maybe be the best of the big three, but you're not committing to it enough to actually do it. So then don't do it. Don't be a capitalist if you're not trying to make money. If you're trying to actually change lives, then you can use capitalism to do that, but don't actually preach the idea of you being a capitalist and then be like, oh, but it's so bad that we have all these inequalities in the world, but buy my shit. Like, then you're just a capitalist that sucks at capitalism.
Yeah, oh man, this is great stuff. Do you have any thoughts?
Y'all are going at it. I'm like, I'm just watching a podcast now. Let's see where this goes. Like, give me you guys got it. I'm right here. Y'all got it. To piggyback on the sports analogy too, it's like you said with it's like, do you want to be the best athlete or do you want to take the games off? It's like, yeah. And another thing, I thought about it and it just slipped my mind, but it's just like, you want to do so much. And you're saying you're trying to make the sport the problem. That's what it felt like when you said oh, he's like, oh, rap, we're all in this together. It's a game, and I want to have fun with you guys. And I feel like with the Drake and Kendrick beef, he really thought we were just gonna have a fun little jab at each other, and then it got serious, and he was like, Schoolboy Q was like, you gotta leave, and he's like, I guess I gotta leave. So it's like, okay, cool, but it's like if you're not there for it, then why are you here? Because you claim you're the best, you want to be the best, but then you want to step back and say, I'm not the best, and we're all kings, but then you want to say, I have the crown still, and then we're the big three, but is it just, well, who really is it? So it's like, you're trying to make this problem go away while also providing that there's a problem. It's just consistent contradictions, and it almost just feels disingenuous. So I get what you mean with that. And that's what's so crazy to me is whenever people bring up Jake, oh, he's big three, he's one of the top. I'm like, you might be right. I'll just never know. Because I don't know what he wants. Does he want to be here? I don't know what I want. I don't know what he wants. What does he want to actually be in this big three, quote unquote? Or does he want to bring it up all the time to be like, do you guys think we're the big three? Leave a comment down below. Do you think I'm in this with you right now? Or am I just some random guy? What do you want? That's what my mindset was, Cole. And it's also here comes the coworker music allegations. That my coworker, I was talking to him, he's a very big music head and everything. And I was talking about J. Cole because I know jack shit. I don't listen to Cole at all. I listened to this one album. I listened to the big songs. I listened to the role models. I listened to the Tale of Two Cities. I listened to the Fire Squad. And then I listened to everything else and I just forgot about it. I didn't touch it. I don't touch Cole. I hear people bring him up. But he was like, the reason I feel so disingenuous towards Cole is because he flaunts this non rich lifestyle. And he's like, but if you go back and listen to his stuff, he is so incredibly braggadocious about being rich all the time and shit.
And
then
about
randomly
boinging on his boy.
pivoted.
You know?
And he was like, he just pivoted. And I was like, I can't fact check you on that, but I'll keep that in mind, I guess. I'm like, I don't know how to take that. So I don't know that kind of thing. I don't know if you guys know, but the way he phrased it was in such a way that it was almost like my brand has to shift and pivot to relatability first compared to like Kendrick's. I'm like you, you're like me. I preach to God. I know myself. I'm not a savior. And Drake's, I'm the best. I'm rich. I got money. I got like, it's like the difference. And then Cole was like, well, I have to go this way then. And I got to be on the other point of the triangle where it's like, I need to have my own thing then. You're the very smart, intelligent one. I got to be intelligent, but maybe I should just be like you in the end, you know, maybe. So I can't vouch to it at all, but that's how he kind of phrased it. And I was like, I don't know if that's true though. And I don't want to listen to it and find out either though. So I'm like, I'll just not speak on it and be like, it's my opinion too. But it's like, he said that and I was just like, I don't know. Like, cause it sounds like you guys have a little more experience with Cole than I do. So is that a thing?
I remember like the first two albums, and maybe this was just like a snippet from an interview where he was talking about how he was initially marketed with like kind of the flashy look and like wearing chains and kind of showing up in
Letterman jacket, you know,
exactly,
like a cool basketball jock guy.
Yeah, and showing up to parties and like rented chains, and he was like, "This just isn't me." So there's an element where maybe I dog him, dog him for that, like trying to be every man's man. But then there's a element where I do believe that that's kind of just not. He doesn't want to kind of subscribe to that sort of stereotypical model of what a rapper is supposed to be, like all flash and no substance. So yeah, that's as much as I know.
I think to attribute to that too, I think the one thing that makes me go, I think he just doesn't want to be in the light like that, is that one tweet where that lady was like, I just ran into J. Cole at this random beach park over to the side. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't commit to a bit that hard for like publicity of being like, I'm gonna go sit in this beach with my bike and like a boombox or some shit.
I could literally pull up a photo from one of the Discords that I'm in, some buddies that like they writers / make zines, and they were like, guess who we ran into at the Zine Fest? This is Jake. Oh, damn, the fucking...
I think you have to turn your, like, the background.
Blur off.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh.
And she was tabling. She was tabling in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's cool.
And he popped up. So I think he's out there in the streets, like, for real.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like, isn't that what you want? And like, why are we hating him so much? You know, like,
this is what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. The sport of it all, right? Like, think he has some Andre 3000 in him, where he's just like, y'all, like Andre 3000 could be just like the greatest and just like destroy all of rap music if he ever wanted to. But he's just like, you know what? I actually don't want to be that type of athlete. Like he doesn't want to be the guy. And so my only gripe with J. Cole is when he pretends like he actually wants to be the guy, and like the Mr. Nice watch of it all, right? Like you were saying, John, like he came into this game and I think the Rock Nation or whoever was like, you got to be like, you know, the sports jacket with the nice watches, and you're filling this role of like, you know, the hipster gone super cool. But, you know, he quickly kind of auto-tuned that out and was like, that's not me, right? I'm like, you know, love yours. That's who I am. That's my real pocket. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that in a boxing match, you can't nice your way out of a knockout. Like in a boxing match, you got to knock a motherfucker out. And J. Cole could knock a motherfucker out if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. So don't get into the fucking ring.
That's a rope-a-dope.
But what if you like gave Mike Tyson a hug, you know, and just like, you know, like
he'd bite your ear off. He would bite your ear off and say, "Don't touch me again." And then he would hug you back after you gone like death and not be able to see your kids anymore because Mike ate your kids. He ate your kids. So imagine Mike ate J. Cole's kids. J. Cole would be like, "No, I kind of get it, Mike. You know, the world is kind of hard. I understand it."
There's a different meaning to that here. I don't know, man.
I also like, he's also a bad like activist guy. Like, obviously, No Name pointed it out. He doesn't read, and this is his messaging. And also, like, the most he does against like white supremacy is like, don't like that. Just like that's really
Not a
all
big fan of it personally.
Yeah, just like he's like Cory Booker. It's just like this kind of like ineffectual Democrat who's just like, yeah, I'm standing on business. I'm standing here for 25 hours. Look at me, I'm the GOAT. And then just like voting for Israel or doing whatever crazy stuff they're doing, like awful shit.
When you said he doesn't read, I just got the images flashing in my mind of like LeBron reading books, and everyone's like, he is not reading that shit.
He's like, I just started it, Malcolm.
I just started it. It's like, dude, you're middle of the book. I don't think you started anything. It's so funny because
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
My friend is quick point. My friends brought those pictures up to me and they're like, could you edit all of them and put The Art of War by Sun Tzu on them? And I was like, dude, in a heartbeat. So all of the books are just Sun Tzu now.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Good.
Well, okay, I feel like we gotta pull
Let's
it
talk
back
about
to
some songs.
14
We
Forest
were
Hill
40 minutes in.
Drive.
Jesus Christ.
We're just beating the shit out of J. Cole over here. We're like, oh yeah, the music.
But I think this album is kind of like the first installment in that like persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like too.
Because songs is to me as cringy as it is, he's like, oh, money doesn't make happiness. He's like, I got some money, but if you don't get it, it's gonna be hard.
But it's like also like, that's the thing about like a lot of like rap artists is like they preach that and then they get a lot of money and they're like, oh shit, I was right. Just like they had to like do it for themselves to like, and that's like the curse of just like capitalism, all this stuff, are just like, maybe it'll work on me. Maybe I'll be the cool one. It's like that, that money doesn't change me, because I
want to hit this nail on the head now. Where are we standing on Wet Dreams? Okay.
Oh, his trombone is playing.
Okay. Like,
it's great. Okay, that's great. Are we not saying it's a great song?
I'm conflicted.
Yeah,
like I it's a great song. I don't want to listen to it. It's like a lot of people's take.
Okay, I'm not insane.
Yeah.
I felt like I was crazy listening to me. Like, I love this chorus. I love how it feels, and I love most of the production. I just don't want to listen to you talk about this shit. Like, and I felt like I was crazy for thinking that. And I was like, I don't know if people agree with that, because I feel I read people talk about the song and be like, it's so good, I love it. 1.4 billion streams. Like, oh, you guys must really like this song,
right? It's the second one in the top 10 on his page.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you guys really like this song, but then I'm like, but I don't want to listen to him talk about it. Like, I don't want to hear you going at that like that, man. I don't know.
I feel like if I was 14, this would be my favorite Cole song. I'm in. But like 30s.
Then it feels contradictory to me, because then it's like, well, what do I have against this song that I won't against any other rapper song talking about getting with women?
But in a more negative kind of misogynist way.
So it's like, what is the difference? Is it just that I don't want to hear about a Cole that's underage? Like, maybe that's it. Maybe that's ticking me off.
I want to watch Big Mouth instead.
But like, other than that, it's like, I love the chorus on this song, though. I don't know.
Awesome,
something about the chorus, just like, that's crack to me, man. I don't know. I ain't never did this before, no.
It's
so good.
It's a good lesson. Like, I made the Big Mouth joke, but it works in that way of just like, like the teaching kids like who love Family Guy, just like, about sex education and stuff like that. Just like empathy for women, empathy for like, you don't have to like keep posturing yourself in a certain way. I think this is the lesson he's trying to work through. Like, you don't have to posture yourself in a certain way. You just be honest with yourself, just be honest to other people, like treat them well, like have empathy, listen to them when they tell you their experience. I think it's a great lesson. And then just like this thing that like, that makes him kind of cool is like, he's willing to be cringe. He's willing to like put himself in this position of just like, this is a cringe bar and I'm cringe, but it's honest and it's vulnerable. and then it can circle back to being uncringe and cool. But then it's just but then like I'm thinking about like what is this prison we're in of just like thinking about others being cringe? Like who cares? Like just like be honest, you know?
I may be cringe, but I am free.
But this is this is why it's such a good song, and I get the replayability of it all. Like once you get to the finish line, you know, once you finish, then it's like, all right, well, whatever, I've done it. But like the idea of like even in 2025 with digital dating, you know, like you come into any type of date and there's almost this expectation that you've had all of these experiences and you've been able to maneuver them and you're some kind of expert, and nobody knows exactly what their sexual history is like, and no one talks about it, no one expresses it. So yes, he's describing what it's really like when you're like trying to hook up with the girl for the first time and you have all of these expectations that society placed on men to be, you know, these superstar performers, be the big sized, long lasting dudes. And in actuality, a lot of people aren't. And so for him to be, again, in a moment where you have all of these rappers that, not, I shouldn't say rappers, that's a very derogatory term in this context. All of these people that are doing music, that are doing art, that are masking themselves and showcasing a false side of them. He's actually kind of saying like, yo, guys, this is the experience I'm having. And then turns out she's having the same experience too. Like she's going through as well, because women, God, like women go through the hell and back from what society gives them. And so I think it's great that he's doing this on this record. And it's also why I don't like J. Cole, because he will do this and then he'll do a Fire Squad and be like, nah, bro, like, don't be Fire Squad Cole, be like Wet Dreams Cole, or Love Yours Cole, because that's a lane that not enough people occupy. And you do it so well, like better than anybody else, I think. So
After school special
I
Cole.
Yes, like honestly, and it's like it's almost like a diss, but it's not a diss because you want your kids to be after school. You just don't want to tell your boys that you're after school, right? Like that's what it is.
This is like, hey, son, listen to this cool album by this cool artist. You know, just like instead of like having being preached to, you know, just like
And the question is also like, do you want your young boys to listen to Wet Dreams or Andrew Tate? Because they're gonna listen to one, and God forbid they only listen to Andrew Tate, then we're really fucked. So I'd much rather they put on Wet Dreams over and over again and get their lessons from a librarian than get it from a horrible human like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, that was where I was thinking too of like a lot of like, I guess I was talking to my girlfriend about it the other night because I was re-listening and I was like, man, this song is so interesting to me because I like certain parts of it, but then sometimes he says something and I go, I don't want to hear that, but like I get it, and I'm like, it feels almost super interesting that some kids or some people listen to this song as their first or like later on experience of understanding the idea of like, oh, it's okay if I don't know what I'm doing, if I don't know how to feel, but then like. On the other hand, it's like, I listened to fucking 50 Cent Candy Shop. And like that put an image in like my brain or like somebody else's brain of like, oh man, they expect so much. They want like this heavy, like not overpowering, but like strength about it. Of like, I know what I'm doing. That's kind of how it feels when you're played certain songs. It's like having a vulnerable song. I see how that could be really helpful for that kind of thing. And I think I'm with the idea. Whether I like to hear him talk about how she rides it, how she sits on, how she licks on it, you know.
Yeah, he hasn't been in a pussy since.
I came out
day
one.
He came out one.
Yeah. So it's like, even if I don't want to hear it, I can't deny how good of a song it is.
You know?
Oh, dude,
that is a bar.
But like that kind of stuff, I'm like, man, I really like all of this stuff. And I like, it is a really good song. And I can't deny that. But I don't think I need to listen to it as much as like all these other people have. It's like, damn, 1.4 billion. And that's what also like shocked me when I was looking at the streams list. I was like, man, I listened to No Role Models, Tale of Two Cities, and Fire Squad the most. And Tale and Fire Squad never broke even like 500 million. They're sitting on the low, like Fire Squad, I'm looking at right now, 200 mil, Tale, 300 mil. And I'm like, wow. Like, that's crazy to me.
But it's a perfect example of masculinity, right? It's like that moment where you're like, "Whoa, I didn't watch Clueless. That shit was stupid." And then it's like your most played song, but nobody know, or a movie, but nobody has to know because no one's gonna see that you're the one that's streaming or watching it every day. It's that idea of masculinity where you have to like showcase this bravado of like, oh, and this is again J. Cole. He does this where it's like, oh no, like hands in the air, like okay, like I get it. I mean, that's his reality, whatever. But then his honesty is really in this. Like this is where he's kind of saying, like, honestly, like people who are streaming this, probably a lot of people who are pretending like they don't stream this.
I want to say that what a waste of a sample on San Tropez.
I thought you'd like that one. Oh,
Yes.
wow.
No, I just feel like that's it's such an iconic sample for what is happening on this song. Like, I don't know. I need more of that, like, Adolescence 03 Cole just straight barred out in the little, I don't know. To me, that sample evokes, like, that. I guess we first heard it on Mobb Deep, maybe, their debut album. And it's that's like a 5 mic album, The Source, their album. And I don't know, if you're in here punching in this weight class, then you're going to use a sample from a golden era hip hop album, then I want to see you like try to meet that moment. But I also understand subverting it. It's not like I don't get what he's doing on this song. It's just not what I want. I don't want that because I love that sample and I want to hear some real raps over it. Like you put the sample in the MPC or whatever, like let's rap. But yeah, I don't know how y'all feel about San Tropez, but that was a gripe. I had
transition track that, you know, like kind of like in the story of like, you know, Fire Squad, you know, and then I'm Hollywood Cole now, and that needed to be 2 minutes. That just needs to be 2 minutes, you know, just like, hey, check me out. I'm Hollywood Cole, and then Gomb, you know, whatever that song is called.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So the way this album, and this is why I love like After Hours, especially when it comes to those kinds of albums where they're concept albums that have a story and you can follow it through. This one kind of almost steps into the concept realm of like storytelling, but then dips out, like we say Cole does. But what it did was you have an odd number of tracks. You have your 6 and your 6, and right in the middle is your transition point of the story. So that whole song is purely a transition to hit that last leg of the album, which I think, as much as like the first half, you know, it has its 03, it has its Wet Dreams, it has its Tail, it has its Fire Squad. I love the second half a whole lot more. Get Off My Dick, banger. No Role Models, still a banger. Hello, like we said, great. An amazing,
I love
like
apparently is one of my
apparently's
top.
great, and Love Yours, it's pretty good. So it's like, in the note to self, like I said, 3 minutes of a song into 11 minutes of like credits, and I'm like, okay, but it's like that reinforces the idea of it being like this movie you're watching, where he has the credits at the end, and the intro is like the full thing, and then you go right into it. So it's like, but yeah, Saint Tropez is just like, oh, 2 minutes, 2 minute interlude, transition track. We're cool. 4 minutes, little long.
This feels like you know, an anthology or just like a book of essays, you know, that like, you know, this one guy wrote a New York Times like essay, and that was popular, and then he got a whole book deal off of it, you know. Let's see. I already talked about why I like Fire Squad, so I'm not going to talk about that again. Lowlights. Yeah, just like and you know, the second verse of Apparently is just like ruins it for me. Like it kind of messes up for me. I'm just like, this first verse is just such a beautiful reflection of just like regrets and like gratitude for your mother and like, you know, reflecting on your selfish decisions as an adolescent and all that stuff. And then it's just like, she boinged on my boing, and it's just like, you know, it's just like what is, and I understand like the point is like to contradict a little bit, but like, I don't know. I just don't shit where you eat, you know, just keep it clean. You know, why are you like, why don't make me want to skip the song like 2 minutes into it? Like, just like, let me just stay in, and just stay in one zone. You know, I just like, you know, I think, Yeah, I also think he kind of lacks some sort of cohesion. We're talking about his like contradictions and stuff like that, but Drake is able to weave those in an interesting way, where he's just like I think he lacks a lot of self awareness of just like who I think he believes everything he says, but like he's just like very confused. Like
Yeah, and I think the production part of it kind of plays into it because I think sometimes when you don't produce all of your music, and I mean Drake does production work obviously, but it's so much of it's 40 is so essential to it that it allows you to almost step outside and be like, okay, well, where can I fit here? Whereas with Cole, because he produces all of his stuff, it's almost like he's in his house too much. Like he's just in his head too much. It's just too much of like him creating the world and while it's worked for a lot of artists and it works for him too, there could be times where he doesn't have that ability to kind of see where the contradictions are and how to make those kind of work. The mismatching that becomes the perfect pairing for him is just mismatched because he's not really looking in the mirror as well. He's just there, living it, breathing it, producing it, writing it, all of it. So there could be some of that.
there's this one time my mom like really read me for filth one time where I was like in a very depressed stage of my life. I was so sad and I was just like having these like kind of reiterating kind of negative thoughts and stuff like that. Like, oh, the world is it's shitty and all this. And then she was just like, that's not deep. You're actually like scratching the surface over and over and over again. And I think this is what he's doing here, you know?
Wow, that was good. Yeah,
I wasn't even like
that's a
I didn't write that down. I just
That's
like
heat.
remember that. Yeah.
This boy wrote a whole 12 commandments of Cole. And then here
yeah,
he is
that should be the sole commandment. Yeah, that's really good.
Just drop one little sprinkle of like, oh wow, that actually was like genuine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fire, Andrew. I like that. I like that arena a lot because it's
hard.
what we all do so much, right? We just like scratch that same surface over and over again, and we forget that there's like levels to this thing, and then it just feels like you're working. It's like working and not going anywhere, right? Like we work too hard and accomplish very little, where we could simplify and actually like get somewhere. I like that, and Cole could be the one of those three. I think that's maybe what Kendrick does really well too. Is like he almost has like a nonchalant way of getting to the deep rootedness of it all. And Cole, I don't know, man. I don't know. I gotta stop shitting on Cole because it's not like I'm digesting Cole every day. Like of the three, I listen to a lot of Drake, a lot of Kendrick, very little Cole. So it's not like I'm actually like an expert in J. Cole. So maybe he does do the work that you described, but it doesn't feel like that.
But look at that. Cole's making us think.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God, you're right. He is doing the work.
See, Kendrick said Cole made you think about it, but he's not saved. I don't know. I feel like I'm being saved right now. I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, it's that like it's so interesting. This album is so interesting.
Yeah.
Just of how it's
also like how it was popular too. Like this is like I'm looking at it like this is cool, but it's not like the top 3 guy, like I don't know. Any just 03 Adolescents. I love just like the empathy flip of like the guy, who's like you don't want to be me. It feels like a very coming of age kind of part of like a movie. It feels really good. That feels really good. Just let's see. I don't know. I like I'm gonna just go through any stray observations of like any of these songs. Anything we want to talk about though? Like
we haven't like brought up the word classic at all. And I'm curious to see what you all think. Like, I mean, this was a little over 10 years ago, and so was Nothing Was the Same. And I think that the general conversation out there in the music zeitgeist is that Forest Hills Drive is a J. Cole classic, and Nothing Was the Same. People debate, but it's between that and Take Care. Sometimes if you're reading this, it's too late. I wonder if we just like look at them side by side. Like I texted Stanley and Andrew on the side, and I was like, my hot take is these are the same album. And they both feel like they're coming from similar places. With Nothing But the Same being the third album, this being the third album, like we said earlier, like the time, they're not like too separated, like by that much time. There's an element of like, I'm kind of summarizing, I guess. I don't want to do that fully, but they just feel like they're coming from a similar place. I wonder what y'all feel about that classic status.
My first one's like my last one. It's a classic. You don't have one. Like, this is not a classic. This is not. I think that line is about J. Cole. That line is not about Drake. That's the reply to that one line of your first shit was classic and that was sublime. Just whatever you'll start talking about, like where it's confusing what album he's even talking about,
And then immediately comes out and goes, I didn't believe that anyway. I don't know. And I don't know. I praised it in the past. I didn't believe that. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
Saying To Pimp a Butterfly isn't a classic. I don't know. That's insane to me.
He said it was sleepy. He fell asleep. He took a nappy nap bye-bye.
This man cannot be talking about anybody falling asleep during albums.
No.
Here's the thing. I like KOD and I like For Your Eyes Only much better than this. I think those are more artistically honest. I For Your Eyes Only, I listened to today. I cried during it. I cried during She's Mine Part 1 and Part 2. Just like this really beautiful reflection of like, love and like just like never thinking you'd be loved and then finding it. I think it's so beautiful. And just like this, I think that album does the Tale of Two Cities thing better too, because it's like the counter story is his friend, his 22-year-old friend who passed away, and like, leaving behind a daughter, and then he's thinking about his own daughter and his own love and such. And like those two stories are running counter to each other. I really like KOD until he said, don't medicate, meditate. I'm like, fuck you. Like, you fucking idiot. Like, you're building the story so honestly. It was so wonderful. And then I was just like, that's what you got? Like, thanks, BetterHelp. Just like, I don't know.
Like shit, GBT.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is a classic. I think this is a classic for me because it's like San Tropez is the only song I wrote low light, because when I was going through all of this, listening to it, I'm like, whatever. But actually sitting down and trying to prepare for this, it was only San Tropez. I couldn't find another song that I could say, oh, low light. And yet I did write highlight to like, I think 5 or 6 of these tracks. So, and note to self, the first 3 minutes count. The rest is just obviously it's credits, it's bullshit, whatever. It's cool. But I do think
that song, yeah.
Yes, yeah, I think the production is what brings it to classic status. Like, it's such a well-produced album. It sounds really, really good, and so, I would put this as a classic. I would put Nothing Was the Same as a certified classic. I think that one is like, I used to say Take Care is my number one Drake album. I think listening to this now and living with this for a few weeks, this may be like, I think the best version of Drake that we've gotten so far and probably will ever get. He just has a hunger. He understands his lane really well. He flexes on the both sides of his brain, like that melodic side, that hip hop rap boom bap side of things. I don't know, what more do you want from a guy like Drake, who can do anything he wants and he does whatever he wants in that album. So for me, they're both classics.
Yeah, this really turned me around on production on J. Cole. I was like, he's a boring producer. I don't think he's that good. And then this time, like, this is a great produced album. This is really GOMD, just like gommed, just the way like it's modular and stuff, and like it turns beautiful at one point too. Like the strings, it's like really lush and beautiful. In like a song that didn't necessarily call for that, and like the way he changes the flow and like the singing and stuff like that. I think like it's hard to say like a low light for the song. It's just like more so the cringe bars, like that taint a song, just like get a virgin the urge to R me. That's gross, awful. Like makes me not want to listen to that song, that verse. Just like the line about MLK would have been on Dreamville gives real Justin Bieber and
Give
Drake
me
would
a
have been a believer
break.
vibes. You know,
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh wow, I forgot about that.
like
Oh, brother.
good job. And then I also wrote that he's like Ted Mosby. You know, he's like Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. I'm just like, I think he like earnestly wants love and he earnestly is like searching for the one, but he's such a misogynist weirdo, but he's also so likable. You know, it's like this whole and like also like the fact that he's like friends with Barney Stinson, aka Drake, like puts the feminist card into question, you know, like so that's my take on J. Cole. So that was I think that's it. I think anything else. Like,
I don't know. For me, it's like
what is it a classic for you? Like
for me, it's I can't. I want to fence it like a motherfucker right now, but I'm not. I've already spoken pretty heavily on how I don't like nothing was the same was fine to me. It didn't blow me away compared to other things I've listened to from other artists or anything like that, even of the time. But it's like, can I say it's not a classic or can I don't know on that one. For this one, for 2014, it feels like it should be like suddenly saying Saint Tropez is like the only one that I don't really care for, and then the note itself is like whatever. It's just good production, 3 minutes of rap, 11 minutes of chorus, or just talking and credits. So it's like I guess in a way it would be a classic, and then I go, well, can it be a classic if it's only as the one album I've listened to in full? And I go, well, yeah, Lauryn Hill exists, and that's a classic, and I love that album. So that's like, well, this one has to be a classic then, right? But it keeps. I'm doing J. Cole here. I'm stepping in and out consistently. I don't know if I can confidently say like this is a classic for me. I think it's a great album. I don't know if for me personally it's a classic. I don't know.
yeah.
But as for the Drake one, I would say I need to sit with Drake more. And I'll probably find the time to do it soon. Because at this point, it's like I kind of have to. But it's like because I haven't heard Take Care. I've listened to one song off If You're Reading This, like that I can remember off the track list, which is Jungle. So it's like those two albums don't have a place yet. So it's like in the grand scheme of going from 2016 for views backwards, those would be considered like what you said, like his great era, or like what would be like the classic era. So it's like I think I need to figure those out. So I don't know. I'll just say no, just because I don't think I'm allowed to speak on it yet. I haven't become the Drake man yet. I'm
Comments,
still
they gonna come for you.
yeah. They gonna. Oh, I don't give a fuck.
They're coming for me.
I already.
Yeah,
Where's behavior?
yeah, where's behavior? Like, yeah, I think it's also like, is it a classic to me versus is it a classic? I think is it a classic is not up to us. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't like it. You know, like the 2000 Forest Hills Drive sold up Madison Square Garden like last year. Like, it's a classic. People love it. You know, and I said, I understand why people like this. This is really meaningful stuff. This is really awesome stuff. Like, it's like I could imagine having such a great time at that show. Like me today, like I would go. Like this is so fun. And like Cole is a charismatic, likable guy. I'm rooting for him. Like I want him to step away from weird Jordan Peterson territory, but like I like him. I like him a lot. I want him to do well. Also, the line, just like one more straight observation, then we'll close. The what's it called in Role Models, he talks about like wanting to be a Sade and like you know, Aaliyah and stuff like
Nia
that.
Long.
Nia Long. That was very weird. I was like, say Cole. I hear like him old. Anyways,
And no longer with us, I guess.
yeah. That's it.
I think the classic conversation also kind of leads into the area of like, would you argue? Like I like to say the fact like my subjective opinion is always going to be separate to what I think is an objective statement, to where it's like objectively, Goblin from Tyler the Creator is a fucking horrendous album. Subjectively, I love that album.
Yeah,
and it's just nostalgia because I grew up with that album specifically
as a 10-year-old.
Not even as a let's see, that would be 2010, 2011, 2010. Either way,
20?
I'm 22.
Oh, gee. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a youngin', but I'm a young boy. But I would have been 6 or 7, 8
Jesus
maybe.
Christ!
I
Oh
was
no!
listening to Goblin, and I had the CD, so it's like that is like ingrained in my brain. That should have fucked me up bad, but instead it
Yeah.
just put me on a path to talk about music. But
Yeah,
it's like
cool.
being able to go from his first studio album, follow Tyler all the way through to Chroma is insane. So
Yeah.
it's like objectively, Bastard is a decent enough mixtape. Goblin is a terrible album. Wolf is good. Cherry
Wolf's
Bomb-
not that good.
I like Wolf. I'm a big fan of Wolf.
Mm.
I'm a big Wolf guy. But it's like that. It's like Cherry Bomb to some is terrible, to some is great. I'm in the camp that it's pretty bad-ish. But it's like those are the objective like opinions of like Goblin. And it's like, yeah, but I really like most of Goblin. Like She off of Goblin is my favorite song of all time.
Yeah.
Never
Tyler,
changed.
what's your deal? Why are you being so bad? Why are you a bad boy? That's the
But
therapist.
yeah, so it's like those kinds of classic conversations I feel go hand in hand with it, where it's like I may not like Drake now, I may not care for most of the songs on this album, but can I say it's a terrible album? Can I say it's dog? Like any of that objectively? Hell no. Because this is in the time of how high he was and how strong of a character he was, that everyone, like you had said, there's this Canadian guy getting vouched for by every big rapper possible in this time period. Like, this is a big deal. He's big. They're vouching for him. And it's like, I can't say anything negative about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, so it has to be a classic naturally. Do I think it is personally? I would say so at this point, since we went on that whole fucking little like journey.
Because you changed your own mind.
Yeah,
Like,
I was weaving through it. But it's like, yeah, so it just makes sense in the end to be like, yeah, I think this is a classic. People can argue for 2014 to be a classic. I just think it's a good album. He's like you said, you listen to KOD and all that. I've never.
Yeah.
So I can't vouch for any of that being classics or anything.
Yeah, so I think that's the end of our episode.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
I think that was great. I'd love. Do you want to take it home, like in terms of like closing it out or anything like that?
I don't have a outro done ever. I just say,
well, goodbye.
Live your life, enjoy music, don't care about what other people think.
Oh yeah,
That's usually what I say. It's just quick and easy.
Yeah. Follow our show. I've been meaning to listen to that. If you are listening to this on the Sorcerer channel, just listen to. I've been meaning to listen to that on YouTube and Spotify. We just recently hit 50,000 views on like all our platforms, so I'm really proud of that. And some great episodes. Check out our Band of Stone episode. Check out our GNX episode. Our Chromacopia episode. If you like those, this episode you probably like those. You can follow me, Andrew Empus Lee, Stanley Snap Sten, John Buzz is here. You at V_sorcerer or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day. And believe in yourself and don't care about what other people think.
Listen to music, enjoy your life.
I like that. That is a great way to end it. I like that a lot.
We're done. Yep, that's it.
That was fun.